What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Wise Up.
I think you mean sock up, ha!
Or that. Anyway, today we're going to be talking about foot love. Alright, so in the fitness industry, we spend a lot of time focusing on different parts of the body to mobilize and strengthen, but we really should hone in on the ankle, which is one of the most forgotten joints, because it has such a global effect on the entire body. So the tissue at the bottom of our feet directly correlate to the ankle joint. So daily habits, footwear, and just lack of care can lead to dysfunctions in your feet as well as your ankles and right up the whole chain. All right, our resident foot expert Crystal is going to run you through a few different things to give those feet some love.
The reason foot health is so important is because a lot of us don't pay attention to our feet at all until they're hurting. And by that time, it's usually too late. You have a chronic problem that you should have kind of gotten ahead of. The problem stems from our shoes. Typically, we wear footwear which compresses not only our metacarpals and doesn't allow our midfoot to spread, it also restricts the range of motion of our toes, which not only should be able to spread laterally, but also be able to extend and flex without being crunched. Here are 3 movements you can do throughout the day, which will help mobilize your feet and undo the squishing that your shoes do. Movement number 1. This movement helps to encourage your toes to splay and stretches the tissue that's in between your metatarsals. Interlace your fingers between your toes. If you've never done this before, it's common to get cramping or any kind of pain in your feet. Like with any stretching, you want to start slowly and be gentle with your tissue. Once you can get your toes and your fingers interlocked comfortably, from that position, you can hold your feet and rotate the midfoot. Movement number 2. Because our toes are in shoes and they don't have their full range of motion, they tend to curl, which can cause hammer toe or tendonitis on the bottom of your feet. To combat this, ground down through your 1st and 5th toe knuckles and splay your toes outward. Then, reaching without curling your toes, lay them or press them gently into the ground. For movement number 3, I want to address the fact that we put our feet into flat shoes and walk on flat ground. And so we really don't give our feet the nutritious textures that would help strengthen it. Something I like to do to combat this is roll or use a ball to roll out my tissues. I want to roll these tissues, baby. Just roll these tissues. The way I combat this is I like to roll my feet on a ball. I typically use a lacrosse ball because I personally like the size and the density, but you can use a tennis ball, a foam roller, whatever feels good to you. We're going for habits which we can do long-term rather than really intense short-term treatments. Using a lacrosse ball, you want to think of running it over your feet in a grid pattern. You can roll the arch, the middle, and the lateral edge of the foot, as well as going horizontally through the different tissues. Once you find a spot that feels like it needs more attention, you can stay there or roll in small circles around knots, again, being aware of your own limitations.
So along with those 3 exercises to strengthen your feet, simple things like kicking off your shoes and socks will actually benefit you. Getting used to being barefoot on the ground will also strengthen the foot. Just because you don't have pain in the foot or the ankle doesn't mean that you may be suffering from some of the dysfunction. Having dysfunctions in your feet will affect you with dorsiflexion. You'll have a huge lack of it, which can affect you walking, jogging, running, squatting, lunging, naming anything really. That problem will easily translate up the chain and give you even more problems to chase after. All right, guys, so use those few exercises in your daily routine. You'll definitely see a benefit from it. Don't always overcomplicate things, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Where the fuck is my cappuccino? Hello? I cannot work like this.
You can't even have a cappuccino.